Some other dramatic video just into us, even live as we speak, as we're learning the whole east wing of the White House, it is being demolished. It's being pulled down. Look at this. Crews tearing down that part of the building, originally built in the early 1900s, as part of the president's many multi-million-dollar plan to build a new ballroom there. The latest price tag we've learned in just the last hour, $300 million. Want to show you the president just in the last hour showing off pictures of what this ballroom would look like. Some renderings, some blueprints. You see the gilded interior at one point as he was showing off right there pictures to people who were inside the room. By the way, he was in the Oval Office for a separate meeting related to NATO. It wasn't a ballroom meeting, but the model was right there on the table. You got the sense the president wanted to share a lot of this. It's a significant expansion than what we initially heard from President Trump when he said months ago that this ballroom wouldn't interfere with the current building. He said it'll be near it, but not touching it, and pays total respect to the existing building, which I am the biggest fan of. We should note here that the parent company of NBC Universal, Comcast, is included on a list of top donors to the project. It's not clear how much Comcast and some of these other donors contributed. Monica Alba is all over this one. You have been following this from the jump, Monica. What's happening with the East Wing of the White House, obviously historically important, and part and parcel of the president having sought to put his own stamp, not just on the East Wing, but so many parts of the White House as well.
All over, Hallie. Essentially every corner, from the Oval Office to the Cabinet Room to the Rose Garden, the Palm Room, those major flagpoles, one of which you can see over my shoulder here, that he had installed both on the North Lawn and the South Lawn. This is a president who has been trying to put his stamp on every piece of the White House, but his pièce de résistance here is this massive ballroom, is something that really is going to cost millions and millions of dollars, he says, through those private donations and through some of his own funds, though it's unclear how much he would contribute to this. But there are real questions about what happens now, because the White House did not submit this plan through the normal approval process. Now, the White House is such a unique address and place that it doesn't really have to get approval from any specific agency in order to go through with some of this. I'm told by a White House official that they actually will submit the plans at some point, and that they believe that they didn't need to submit them in order to have the demolition phase, but that they will plan to at least have them be reviewed by some of these historical agencies that normally would be a part of major renovations once the actual construction begins of the new ballroom. And in terms of the size, Hallie, this is supposed to accommodate parties or events of up to 999 people. And this is something that President Trump talked about doing way back years ago. Even when former President Obama was in office, he offered to do a ballroom. In his first term, he talked about it as well. Now he's actually doing it. And the East Wing itself is where the First Lady would have her office, where her staff would work out of, some other aides. All of those people have now been relocated to other parts of the White House building and to the Eisenhower Executive Office building, where they are going to work for now. And it's unclear what the new East Wing could look like once the ballroom is actually built. We don't know where those other offices might go. The White House hasn't shared all of those kinds of details, but it is a really significant and jarring window into how this president is totally remaking the White House in his image. Hallie.
And just super quickly, Monica, what's also interesting are the echoes of Mar-a-Lago, a place that the president obviously feels very comfortable, his South Florida home that you see in, there's a ballroom there. You look at what he did with the Rose Garden, for example, and the patio at Mar-a-Lago. I mean, there are some similarities, perhaps.
The Mar-a-Lago-fication of the White House is absolutely accurate. That is exactly what has been happening. And we know when you talk to his staff, the president and the first lady love spending time in West Palm Beach at the Mar-a-Lago estate. And so they wanted to bring a piece of that to the White House, and that is what he has been doing. In fact, working with some of the same people, wanting to get all of that gold in there that you see throughout Mar-a-Lago down there is certainly reflected now in all these moves.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.